Welcome back to our Grid Down Survival series. We've come a long way from initial survival tactics to ongoing planning and adaptation. As we journeyed together, we've explored the importance of water, food, shelter, and more. Today we delve into Part 9, Documentation and Information Management. We'll discuss the crucial role of records management and building a knowledge resource library in survival scenarios. Remember, your knowledge and your records are your lifelines. Let's explore how to manage them effectively. In any survival scenario, essential documents are crucial. Let's delve into what they are and how to keep them safe. Your most important records include identification, property deeds, insurance policies, and medical records. These pieces of paper, often taken for granted, can become lifelines in a disaster situation. They prove who you are, what you own, and what medical needs you might have. But keeping these documents safe is not as simple as tucking them away in a drawer. You'll need to consider waterproof, fireproof, and secure storage solutions. These can range from specialty containers to safes designed for document protection. And let's not forget about digital security. Making digital backups and using encryption can add an extra layer of protection for your most vital information. You might be thinking, well, I've got them stored away safely, job done, right? Not quite. Accessibility is just as important as security. In an emergency, you'll need quick access to these documents. Consider having copies stored in multiple locations and possibly with trusted community members. This way, if you can't reach your primary storage, you'll have a backup plan. Now let's talk about something a little more high-tech. Digital backups are a modern solution to an age-old problem. They can be stored on a secure cloud server, on an encrypted hard drive, or even on a small, durable thumb drive. But remember, even the best digital backup is useless without a way to access it. So consider investing in a solar or hand crank charger to keep your digital reader or laptop powered up. When disaster strikes, having these documents at your fingertips can make all the difference. So take the time now to gather, protect, and strategically place your essential documents. It's an investment in your future that you won't regret. Beyond your essential documents, having a library of reference materials can be a game changer. This knowledge resource library, packed with the right books and guides, can be an invaluable tool in your survival arsenal. Let's begin with survival techniques. Books and guides that cover general survival skills, emergency preparedness, and self-reliance should be at the top of your list. These resources can provide you with a roadmap to navigate through unforeseen challenges and adapt to your surroundings. From building a shelter and starting a fire to sourcing food and water, these guides can be your survival textbooks. Next, we have medical handbooks. In survival scenarios, having access to medical and first aid manuals can literally be a lifesaver. These handbooks can guide you on how to treat injuries and illnesses when professional medical help may not be immediately available. They can be your go-to guides for understanding symptoms, administering first aid, and managing health conditions with limited resources. Understanding your environment is also key to survival, so make sure to include guides on local flora and fauna in your library. These guides can help you identify edible and medicinal plants, understand local wildlife behavior for safety, and even learn how to use what nature provides as resources. Lastly, it's all about fostering continuous learning. Knowledge is a crucial survival tool, and the more you know, the better equipped you'll be. Encourage a culture of ongoing education and skill development within your community. Remember, the goal is not just to survive, but to thrive. But how do you build this knowledge resource library? Start by sourcing books and guides that cover the areas we discussed. Look for comprehensive, easy-to-understand materials. Digital versions can also be useful, as long as you have a reliable way to access them when needed. Empower yourself and your community with a library of knowledge that can be your guiding light in the darkest times. Remember, in a survival situation, information is not just power, it's a lifeline. Having a resource library is one thing, but utilizing it effectively is another. The key to this is effective organization. Just like a library, your knowledge resource library should be categorized for easy access. This could be based on topics such as medical, survival skills, local flora and fauna, and so forth. You don't want to be flipping through a wilderness survival guide when you're in need of first aid techniques. Now, it's not enough to have these resources neatly categorized. You need to know the content. Regular review and practice sessions are essential. Imagine trying to start a fire for the first time in the middle of a survival situation, or trying to identify a plant's edibility from a book you've never read before. Not ideal, right? So make it a habit to familiarize yourself with the materials, practice the skills, and internalize the information. This brings us to the concept of community sharing. Knowledge is an incredible survival tool, and when shared, it becomes even more powerful. Consider setting up workshops and training sessions within your community. This could be a group study of a survival manual, a first aid training session, or even a show and tell of local plant life. It's not just about sharing the knowledge, but also about creating a community that's prepared and resilient. Here's something to remember. In a survival scenario, your greatest resource is not the library of books and documents you've gathered. It's the knowledge you've gained from them, the skills you've honed, and the community you've built. So whether you're in the heart of a bustling city or the tranquility of the countryside, remember to not just acquire knowledge, but to also apply it and share it. You never know when that random fact about edible berries or that first aid technique you practiced could save a life, maybe even your own. Remember, knowledge not shared is knowledge wasted. Use your resources to build a resilient community. Now that we understand the importance of documentation and information management, it's time to take action. Initiating the process may seem daunting, but remember, every journey begins with a single step. Begin by identifying and gathering your essential documents. From your identification to property deeds, insurance policies, and medical records, these documents are the building blocks of your recovery phase. Once you've got your essential documents compiled, consider your storage solutions. There are a plethora of options available, from waterproof and fireproof containers to digital backups. Prioritize what works best for your situation, and remember, encryption adds an extra layer of security for digital copies. Switch gears to building your knowledge resource library. Start by acquiring books and guides on general survival skills, emergency preparedness, and self-reliance. Don't forget to include medical handbooks and guides on local flora and fauna. These resources will be invaluable in a grid-down situation. In the digital age, don't overlook online resources and ebooks. They offer a vast wealth of information at your fingertips. Just ensure you have a reliable way to keep your devices charged and protected. Lastly, create connections with local experts in fields like botany, medicine, and survival training. They can provide invaluable knowledge and might even be willing to conduct workshops or training sessions. Start today. Build your knowledge library, secure your documents, and empower your community. As we wrap up Part 9 of our Grid Down Survival series, let's remember the importance of thorough documentation and information management. It's not just about survival, but resilience and adaptation. Start today by organizing your essential records and building a comprehensive knowledge library. Your future self will thank you. And speaking of the future, our next part will focus on community resilience and cooperative strategies. So don't forget to share your own tips, subscribe, and enable notifications. Join us next time as we explore community resilience and cooperative strategies. Stay prepared, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay safe.